deep within this secluded stretch of bush in Silver Springs, Florida. Beyond these gates lies Forest Animal Rescue, founded by Lisa Stoner and her husband, Kurt.
Both my husband and I had worked with wild animals in various other settings, volunteering our time mostly.
Their little oasis is home to more than 100 animals, and they're quite a colorful bunch.
Tigers, servals, wolves, wolf hybrids. We have white-faced capuchins and brown capuchins, ring-tailed lemurs, brown lemurs, a couple different subspecies of spider monkeys, and a leopard.
As if that weren't enough, they also have tortoises, a donkey, a horse, half a dozen house cats, Egyptian fruit bats, flying foxes, and an old skunk.
They've been failed attempted pets in people's houses. They've been at roadside attractions where they've been left to starve. They've been beaten, declawed, defanged, research labs.
Whether it was trying to nurse a bird with a broken wing or protect a snake from the other kids on the playground, being a savior to animals has been something Lisa's done since she was young. She and Kurt are listed as volunteers here at Forest Animal Rescue because they can't reconcile the idea of profiting off of animals.
To try to plan on making six figures working with animals, you're pretty much going to do something wrong.
The story of Molly and Dolly says it all.
Molly and Dolly are two bears that we took. They were at a tourist attraction in upstate New York. They were left there for 6 years to starve after the attraction closed. And it was just the locals that were climbing the fence and throwing pizza and donuts and leftovers in their enclosure that kept them alive. They starved down to about half their proper body weight.
They were scheduled to be destroyed, but luckily, a call got out to Lisa just in time, and the bears moved in at her sanctuary.
They had an acre to roam in, and they didn't know what to do when their feet touched grass. They'd never been on grass before.
Across the world, there are more than 10,000 zoos open to the public. We've all been to them, but what many of us don't consider is how unnatural these environments are to the animals living in them. Experts have even come up with the term zoochosis to explain the psychological condition animals exhibit when frustrated with their set of living circumstances. In the United States alone, there are roughly 2,400 animal exhibitions licensed by the Department of Agriculture, but only 233 of them are AZA accredited, meaning they meet the most basic standards of animal care, science, and conservation. Many zoos claim their missions are to play an active role in the preservation and growth of the world's endangered species. But look carefully, and you'll notice most animals in zoos are not endangered, just exotic. To combat these issues, Forest Animal Rescue is clear in its plea to the ticket-purchasing public.
Stop the exploitation of the animals and stop trying to put wild animals in captivity. Learn to appreciate them in the wild where they belong.
As long as people keep paying money to visit zoos, sanctuaries like this one will have to keep finding money to remain operable. With all the different species crawling through this place, at face value, it could be mistaken for some kind of jungle theme park. So what exactly makes this sanctuary any different from a zoo?
We don't exploit the animals in any way. We're not open to the general public. We don't breed and sell the animals. We don't buy animals. We don't do photo shoots. We don't have people coming through the door nonstop. If the animals don't feel like coming out of their shelter and don't feel like being seen, we don't make them. People don't come first, the animals do. And that's something that most zoos can't say.
It would be great if these amazing creatures could live life among the forests or the jungles where they belong. But having grown up so far removed from the wild, releasing them is not a viable option. By the looks of it though, at least some of them have still been able to figure out how to have a ball. And as for the people who dedicate their lives to the thankless work required to give them a home, the sight of seeing these creatures happy and well-fed is thanks enough.